Well, the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct happened earlier this morning, and I have got a lot of thoughts. But before I get into those thoughts, I want to welcome you to the domain GPCE, which stands for Gaming, Pop Culture, and Entertainment. Those are the things we talk about right here on this channel. And if you're into that sort of thing, please subscribe to us. We super appreciate it. So, yeah, Nintendo basically blew the lid open on all things about their successor to the Nintendo Switch, the Switch 2. And we're going to talk about that because I have a lot of thoughts on things, and more specifically, one thing in particular. So let's go ahead and go to this is the American version of the Nintendo website. And you can see right here, it is going to be launching in a few months, almost 2 months away now, on June 5th, which is wild that it's going to be that quick. It's coming out that soon. That's interesting. But as you can see here, we got two different versions that you can buy. You can buy just the base model. It's just the console, nothing else comes with it. It is going to be $449.99 US dollars. Or you can buy the bundle that comes with the brand new Mario Kart game, Mario Kart World, and that's going to be $499.99 as well. So there's that. And then let's talk about Mario Kart World. So we saw a little bit of this when they did their little Switch 2 teaser a few months ago. They showed a little bit of this. We all knew this was going to be a new Mario Kart game. This looks like a lot of fun. I'm super excited to play an open world Mario Kart game. You can literally race from one track that you finish to another track to get to the next one. Meet up with friends and things like that in here and play it all together online. Um, they also got a brand new open world, kind of like Mario Odyssey type Donkey Kong game. Here you can see that Donkey Kong Bonanza, which also looks like a lot of fun. It's great to see that we're finally getting another brand new Donkey Kong game. It's not an HD remake or remaster, what have you. We're getting that. They also announced that there's going to be some what they call Switch 2 edition games, which are essentially um, more high-res graphical versions with new content in them of current Nintendo Switch games. So, such as Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, which uh, is going to be actually coming out on both the Switch and the Switch 2, but the Switch 2 edition is probably the one you're going to want to buy because this will play in 4K 60 FPS, which is what the console can do when docked. You'll also be able to play it at 1080p at 120 FPS in handheld mode, which is pretty great. There's also going to be Switch 2 editions of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, each with their own little unique spin on those editions. It's also going to have something called Zelda Pages, which is part of the Nintendo Today app, which you can download, which will allow you to like do really fun, like Google Map voice directions to certain things on the game, which is kind of cool. They also announced that Hades 2 will be on the Switch 2, along with Split Fiction. Joseph Fares was on there today talking about how that's coming. And there's a whole bunch more games coming. There's a brand new From Software title that got announced today, which is pretty cool to see them announce that as part of a Nintendo console discussion, if you will. All that's pretty great, right? Nothing wrong with that at all. We're also getting a new accessory. I'll show you some of these here. We got some new accessories, we got the Switch 2 Pro controller, which is going to actually have, I don't want to do feedback, which is actually going to have some buttons. Where are they at? On the back that you can, we'll take a closer look. It's going to have some customizable buttons, that you can map these to another button on the front. But that top looks pretty good. There's some photos of it being shown in somebody's hand. They didn't say if the sticks were going to be Hall effect sticks for that. You're also seeing the C button there, which, by the way, the C button is what I thought it would be. The communication button, or they're calling it game chat, where they actually are going to finally add party chat. It only took them 20 years to finally put party chat on their consoles. You don't have to use the phone anymore to talk to people. You can actually meet up, and they actually did a really good job of showcasing how that works. Being able to share your screen with somebody else too, and share everybody. You can see where everybody's at. It's like if you're trying to meet up with somebody in a video game, you can find out where somebody is, and instead of having to give them directions and tell you where they're at and stuff, you can see in real time. Although the video on that looked a little bit laggy in the presentation. So you got all these, charging grip. They're still doing a charging grip for it, of course. This new accessory though is the Switch 2 camera, which is going to be going for $49.99 US here. The Switch 2 is going to have two USB-C ports, one on the bottom for the dock, and then one at the top for this peripheral. And they might even come up with some other ones as well along the way later on down the road. This is kind of nice. I don't know if they're going to have onboard streaming from the console, but that would be kind of cool since they're going to have a camera. Here's a little bit more up close look at the camera. You can use the camera dot or in handheld mode, and they're kind of showing it next to the Switch. It's a little tall. It would have been nice if this was a stand that you could adjust the height on, though. But you can kind of point it up and down, things like that. So that's interesting. But the other thing that makes me upset that I wanted to get into is everybody wanted to know the cost of the games. Well, Nintendo revealed that Mario Kart World is going to retail for $79.99 digitally. They have not, as of this recording, announced the physical price of the game. And then it got a big conversation that we've had about, the Grand Theft Auto situation where, what if Grand Theft Auto just decided because GTA 6 is going to be so big, they could just say, hey, we're going to sell it for $100. Well, we have a website called Insider Gaming who, this is Tom Henderson, reported this today, that the Nintendo Switch 2 games will cost up to $80 for digital, $90 for physical. At least in some cases. Now, we don't know what that's going to be. They did show the European pricing here as well. I don't know. It does say that Donkey Kong Bonanza is being priced at $70. I wonder if the physical copy is going to be higher. It's seeming like they're doing this thing where the digital game is going to be cheaper. The physical copy is going to be more expensive because, of course, you have to mass produce carts. I also heard a rumor that the Nintendo's the Mario Kart Core physical edition is really just an empty case. Just because the game is going to be digital only. So it's going to be interesting to see where this goes. But I'm really hoping that this doesn't set a precedent of having games be $80 to $90 and heck even $100. I mean, will GTA 6 be coming to the Switch too? Who knows at this point? But my big takeaway is, the Switch 2 Direct, there was a lot of games we've already seen that are just going to get better editions. We did see a few new exclusive games, but outside of that, I don't know if I'm excited for the console. I think it's cool, but I mean, they're even selling this. What is this? There's a tech demo. This was one thing that really kind of irked me. Was they are selling where are you? This thing right here. I'll show you guys. They're doing this thing called the Switch 2 Welcome Tour, which is supposed to be this virtual exhibit that offers an inside look at the Nintendo Switch 2 system. I'm not going to play any video of it because, it's Nintendo and you know how they are about that kind of stuff. That will come out June 5th. This looks cool, but they're charging you for it. So I don't know if you remember or not, but when the Steam Deck was released, they actually came up with this really cool game, which I think was free, which kind of showcased the haptic feedback and everything of the Steam Deck, and that was a lot of fun. I remember playing that. But they're gonna charge for this welcome tour? They have to be kidding. They have to be kidding. So then I ended up hearing. I was on social media. I've been on there all day today talking to people about the Switch 2. There was this thing about how the Switch 2 is going to be cheaper in Japan. And I was like, really? So I looked into it. So this is the Nintendo Switch 2 website on the Japanese. You can see there the JP website for Nintendo. And we're going to scroll down here past all this, and we're going to look at the bundles or the consoles they're going to be selling. So first we've got the Nintendo Switch 2 Japanese language system. It's Japan only, which means that they are region locking this console. You're not going to be able to play games in English or anything like that. This is strictly a Japanese language system that they're going to be MSRPing at 49,980 yen. Now, what's that convert to in American dollars? That is the equivalent of $333, which the American version of the console being sold here in the United States, where I live, is $449 plus tax. But sales tax can be different no matter where you live in America, right? Moving on, we've got this interesting bundle, which looks like you can only buy in Japan. It is the multi-language system, and it's going to be able to let you play games in English. It's basically a non-region locked console, and it's going to be for 69,980 yen. And yes, I did that as well, and that's going to be the US dollar equivalent of $466.21. All right, and then yes, they are doing the Mario Kart World set, which is going to be apparently limited production within 2025. So they're not going to produce this after this year. And that comes with all the bells and whistles and a copy of Mario Kart World, which is supposed to be like $30 cheaper to buy the bundle. So if I'm going to get it, I'm going to buy the bundle. That's going for 53,980 yen, which is the equivalent of $359.61. So it's like $100 cheaper to purchase these consoles in Japan. Now, I'm referring to in Japan. So if you live in Japan, you're going to be paying cheaper than what we are paying here if you live in the United States and do it that way, which I'm not sure why they're doing that. I know there's a whole tariff situation going on here in the United States. I don't know if that has anything to do with it or not. I can see that being a reason. A lot of people are also saying that it could be because of scalpers, because there was a lot of scalpers last time for the Xbox Series X and the PS5 consoles. So they're saying Nintendo is jacking up the price $100 to try to help fend off scalpers, which that's not going to work because clearly it didn't work when the consoles that are here were upwards of $500. Who knows exactly the reason why there is $100 difference? I don't know. Hopefully, we'll find that out sooner than later. But other than that, that's my thoughts on the Switch 2. There's also the weird part that the Switch 2's onboard internal storage is only going to be 250 gigabytes, which, come on, it's 2025 Nintendo. You can't just play the 5-year-old card, 5 years ago card all the time with your consoles. And I'm sorry for there being so much movement there. But come on, get with the times. They could have at least put like 512 or something like the Steam Deck. The Steam Deck's a handheld, and it has more onboard storage than that. So I don't know. Anyway, and they're also saying that you can only specifically use micro SD Express cards, which I'm not even sure how much those cost. I haven't looked that up yet. But there you have it. So those are my thoughts on the Nintendo Switch 2. And I hope you guys liked this video. Let me know down in the comments below your thoughts on the Nintendo Switch 2 from the games, the console, the prices, and everything else. And once again, if you like this video, you know what to do. Give it a thumbs up and subscribe to us here on the domain Gaming, Pop Culture, Entertainment. We super appreciate it. And we'll be doing on our next episode of The Next Level, which is our podcast, which will come out next week. Not this week's episode, next week's episode. We'll be doing a big roundtable discussion about all of this as well. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next one later.